Welcome to the Original Gangsters podcast. I'm your host, Scott Burnstein. Breaking news edition. The FBI, U.S. Department of Justice might have just uncovered the biggest sports gambling scandal in history. Um, we've been talking to sources for a while now. Sports Illustrated rolls out a bombshell report this week about some of the granulars in these allegations and in this investigation. There was an arrest made in the last couple of weeks of 40-year-old man named Sugar Shane Hennen. You probably don't know him unless you're, deeply versed in the professional sports gambling space. He is a guy that sells his picks online, is kind of a gambling influencer. He also may be a point shaving kingpin, the likes of we've never seen before. I've dubbed him the new millennium Arnold Rothstein. And the scale of what this guy was alleged to have done would make Arnold Rothstein blush and his fixing of the 1919 World Series. We've been hearing, little bits and pieces of information related to gambling investigations over the last year or two. We didn't know that those were connected. It looks like now we do know that they were connected. They're part of a sprawling investigation that led to Hennen's arrest in Las Vegas. He's a Pittsburgh native. He's been living out in Las Vegas. He was arrested in January, getting on a plane to Colombia. This is including pro sports and college sports. What we know now is the Jonte Porter NBA expulsion, the investigation into Temple men's basketball point guard last year, Fab Miller, and the investigation into current NBA guard Terry Rozier is all connected into this. Henon is the only one that's so far been charged. His lawyers were, Sports Illustrated is reporting, and we're being told, are hammering out a plea agreement of some sort, or trying to. This appears, again, based on my sourcing, and Sports Illustrated was able to roll out, I think, 10 games that they can confirm are under an investigation over the last, I think, 18 months. I'm being told that this could have been hundreds of games, dozens of players, that were really just the tip of the iceberg in terms of what we know right now. We don't know a lot. But it looks like Henon built himself a network of point shavers, again, across multiple levels of the basketball game, pro and college. And it looks like it possibly reached, all the way from the NBA to kind of the lowest level of Division I men's basketball, where there was a lot of money from Henon and people associated to Henon that were going towards seemingly random, innocuous, unimportant games that were getting big money put on. And it looks like he had a co-conspirator. This co-conspirator has not been charged, but it should be said that both Henon and this Mississippi drug dealer / sports gambling figure, another guy, tout, a guy that sells his picks, Marvis Fairley, who goes by the nickname Vezino. Vezino has been tied to the murder of a federal witness. Vezino is, again, like Shane Hennen, he's a convicted felon. And it looks like the federal government believes that these two were at at the top. The federal government believes that these two guys were at the top of the pyramid when it came to manipulating all of these point spreads and over-unders and prop bets. Jonte Porter was kicked out of the NBA, caught checking out of games that people had a lot of action on his personal game performance. Terry Rozier, $100 million contract, Miami Heat guard right now, is under investigation for a game, I believe when he was with the Hornets a couple years ago, where he checked himself out of a game or didn't finish the game, and it affected a lot of money. Going to the college level, Fab Miller, the number one scorer on the Temple basketball team last year, was investigated for a number of games that the Owls were being looked at for possibly manipulating point spreads. One, a game against UAB, where in like a 48-hour period, the point spread spiked, almost 7 points, 8 points. He left Temple, went to Virginia Tech, got dismissed from Virginia Tech, presumably because of the investigation of the NCAA. Now he's playing overseas. He'll never put on an NBA jersey again, or he'll never put on an NBA jersey, period. He'll never have the opportunity. Jonte Porter will probably never put on an NBA jersey again. Terry Rozier, there's only been, allegations of investigations. We know that the NBA investigated Rozier and cleared him. The feds are now investigating him, according to Sports Illustrated. But this is the result of the Pandora's box that opened with the legalization of gambling, the federal legislation, all these apps. It's the Wild West, and we're in an era of, there's a lot being thrown at the wall, and you, business-wise and otherwise, a lot of people throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. It's crazy right now. There's so much money across so many different sports. It's so easy. It's so accessible, and it's regulated, but it's not regulated. I mean, there's a lot to the government has to wrap their hands around and their arms around, and frankly, the professional and college sports leagues have to as well. But it appears that Henon had guys around the country at different colleges and different pro sports teams working on his behalf, and he's talking to the government right now, trying to save himself. Vizino fairly has not been charged, but I'm guessing this is gonna make the steroid scandal or the MLB drug scandal, the NBA drug scandal from the 80s. This is gonna make that stuff look like small potatoes. I'm thinking we're gonna be getting just a laundry list of players, both pro and college, that were working with Sugar Shane in shaving points and manipulating point spreads. And this is just what I'm hearing is just it's astonishing. It really is that this guy could pull something like this off. 40-year-old, he's got a drug dealing history. I think he's got an assault history. Kind of known as a Pittsburgh bad boy, has got a history of betting big in casinos around the East Coast and out in Las Vegas. Temple is in Philly. It's in Pennsylvania. So we'll see what happens. But Sugar Shane Hennen was arrested. He is his lawyer is now working on a deal with the U.S. Attorney's Office. His alleged co-conspirator or possible co-conspirator, Vizino Fairley, has not been arrested. We now know that all this NBA, college basketball, all these investigations that we've heard about are all connected into this one alleged sports gambling illegal conspiracy, beyond gambling, point shaving conspiracies, multiple conspiracies. But it just appears that I can't get over how expansive this stuff is. How many, from what I'm hearing, how many games, how many teams, how many players. So we'll keep you updated. When we know, you'll know. I don't think there's any LCN connections here. If I did, I would have led with it. I wouldn't have gone almost 11 minutes into the conversation. But this could be the biggest sports gambling scandal in American history. So we shall see. Original Gangsters podcast. Please spread the word, share, like. Just let everyone know that we're here giving you your true crime fix. Scott Burnstein, Original Gangsters podcast, uncovering the underworld one city, one region, one country at a time. I'm out.